allegiance and the invocation following.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials, grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
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 Roll call, please.
Allen? Here. LaFour?
Here.
Mistrovich?
Here.
Rindell?
Here.
Ricks?
Here.
Schultz?
Here.
Warren?
Here.
Good to see everybody here. We just came out of a hour and a half of workshop meetings, always open to the public, and we now are commencing with our regular meeting here. Approval of minutes for the city council meeting of July 6th would be in order.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
What's been made and support. Is there any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items. Would you like to speak to the city council? Okay, we'll move on. Adoption of the agenda, Mr. City Manager, we have an addition.
Yes, we have an addition, consideration of approving a special event request for mobile food vendor, Richmond Little League.
Council, any changes? Motion to accept the agenda as amended would be in order.
I'll make the motion. Support.
It's been made and supported. Any discussion? Being no discussion, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion made and supported. There is no discussion on the consent agenda motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We do move on to items for consideration, which we have four. The first one being consideration of purchase of police vehicle. Mr. City Manager.
The 23-24 fiscal year police budget included the purchase of one 2023 Ford Police Explorer vehicle. The proposed new patrol SUV will mirror the looks and equipment of the current patrol SUVs and will replace one of the high mileage vehicles that we currently have. Longhammer, or however you pronounce that, Ford of Owasso, has the state bid through my deal, so that meets all of our bidding requirements under our purchasing ordinance, and so this is kind of, I don't want to say routine, but we've gone through this with the budget workshops and everything. The council got the information during both that and here in the background brief, so we're just requesting authorization to purchase this vehicle.
Thank you. Chief, anything to add?
Nothing to add. There isn't, the window isn't open yet to make the actual order, but I will get notification as soon as it does open, and our sales representative is aware that we are in the running to purchase a vehicle, so I'll let you know when that happens.
Very good. Is there a motion?
I make the motion to authorize the purchase of a, I believe it's 2024, it said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so 2024 Ford Police Explorer Interceptor SUV in the amount of $49,286 with the necessary added options from Longhammer Ford of Owasso with the expense charge to the appropriate line item within the police department equipment acquisition fund.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Is there any discussion? Any audience comments on this? Back to the table? I'd come back every time. Back to the table?
I would just add, and this will be coming down the road, we're actually looking at probably retiring the last of the Tauruses when we get this vehicle versus one of the SUVs, but we'll have a memo to council on why we want to make that switch. And kind of it's time to move that one out and put another SUV in the place as the quote-unquote admin car.
Will that be in better shape than the DPW? The one we gave to DPW?
I'd have to look, but yeah. No,
You may just want to swap,
Yeah.
get rid of that one. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Thank you, Chief. Item 2 is consideration of purchase ammunition. Mr. City Manager.
With the new lease purchase patrol rifles, as well as the department pool rifles, the new handguns for the part-time officers, as well as kind of a review of how often we train with all of our weapons by the chief of police, we realized that we need to step up our ammunition purchase this year. Chief did put money in a couple different line items. One is training, and also in the operating supplies that we're taking this purchase out of, to get more additional ammunition, mainly to make sure that all of our officers have done the proper training, and I'll kind of turn it over to the chief to expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. It's just getting comfortable, confident with the new weapon systems that we're going into service soon. And we need to bolster our ammunition. We have practice ammunition as well as duty ammunition, so.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of ammunition in the amount of $6,076.80 from Vance's Law Enforcement with the expense charged to the appropriate line item, Police Department operating supplies.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this? Comments? Back to the table? Jim?
Am I looking at that right? It's like 3 to 6 months out
Yes,
before you can get the ammo?
yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
It's like, just like everything, it seems like.
Yeah,
Yeah, all ammo's hard to find anymore.
right.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 3 is consideration of approving Richmond Area Good Old Days Festival resolutions. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to review the request from the Richmond Area Good Old Days Festival Committee for permission to conduct the 59th Annual Good Old Days Festival and the special events in conjunction with this festival. This year, it's scheduled for Thursday, September 7th through Sunday, September 10th. There's 4 different motions here with various resolutions for the different parades and closures, as well as the request for the different public parks and open space, things like that. I would say that it is very similar in nature as far as the request goes to previous years. I think the one item that we did add this year is exclusive use of the Aud and grounds from Thursday, September 7th through Sunday, September 10th. I believe that's the kind of the rain location for opening ceremonies, and I'm sure it never rains that weekend, so we don't have to worry about it, but, you know, they would like to make sure they have that as a fallback place, and maybe other events that they may schedule between now and the festival.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2023-5, which directs the city clerk to submit an application on behalf of the Good Old Days Festival Committee to MDOT for permission to close M19 to conduct the Grand Parade, Children's Parade in conjunction with the 59th Annual Good Old Days Festival.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this?
No, is there any way to combine all these motions into one big motion?
I
To
don't,
adopt resolutions 2023 5 through 8? I don't know, is that, or they have to be done separate?
I'm not sure what MDOT,
They are all submitted separately.
yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah, otherwise.
But MDOT's just for the road closure, they're not,
Yeah.
road closure. Well, I'm just asking.
Yep. Did we get a support on that?
Support.
Okay. Any other discussion? Comment? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Motion for number 2?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2023-6, which directs the city clerk to submit an application on behalf of the Good Old Days Festival Committee to MDOT for permission to close M19 to conduct the outhouse race on Friday, September 8th, 2023, in conjunction with the 59th Annual Good Old Days Festival.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this? Any comments? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 3 is for the fireworks.
I'll make the motion to adopt resolution 2023-7, which approves a request to conduct a fireworks display on Saturday, September 9, 2023, in conjunction with the 59th Annual Good Old Days Festival.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this? Comments? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We have one more motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2023-8, which approves the request from the Good Old Days Festival Committee to hang the banners, close certain streets in the city parking lot in conjunction with the 59th Annual Good Old Days Festival.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this? As the city manager stated, the only change in the request is on your last page, I believe. That's the very last thing, exclusive use of the yacht, is city manager brought up. And yes, that's always been the hopes over the years, in case we do get rained out on Thursday, the Little Bisque contest and the opening ceremonies would be held there. There's, the committee right now is also working on having a, what did they call it?
Rhythm of Richmond or something?
Yeah, rhythm. I can't remember what it's called, but anyhow, it's basically all the drumline bands that perform the drumline before the parade on Sunday. They're being invited back by the gentleman that runs that, who is a countrywide, what do I say, judge of these types of activities. And luckily, he lives in Ray Township. He's been with us for a few years now, and he has now brought this up and is working with Molly Shack from the Richmond High School Band and a couple other, I think Dakota High School Band director was also going to be working on this, and we hope that it can be held at the auditorium. And we're hoping good weather so that it can be outside. It's going to be kind of a teaching thing for drummers and percussionists, and something new. Just something to, entertain the people, and also very instructional thing. It also helps to bring bands into our parade. So anyhow, that's.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, is that going to be after the parade on Sunday then, or?
Saturday.
That would be on Saturday.
Saturday? Okay,
Yeah, that'd be
okay.
on Saturday.
Saturday afternoon, I believe.
Yeah, so, yeah, we were talking after the children's parade.
Okay.
2 to 5, something like that is what we're talking about right now.
Great.
So we just figured if we could do it there, the public would be able to see what's going on, and just another form of entertainment over the weekend. Otherwise, the committee's worked very hard all year to bring another great festival and a great parade also on Sunday. Parades are hurting all over the state of Michigan. Ours is not any different, but we, as of right now, we have 12 marching bands, which is by far more than any other parade in the state of Michigan. Usually July, the first couple of weeks in August is when we start hearing back from some of the other bands, making sure that they are the band director at certain schools still because of budgetary problems in some of the schools. So we're looking at probably having the same size. What I'm advocating right now on behalf of our parade committee is anybody that's out there, businesses or otherwise, organizations, church groups, whatever, we need you to come out and be part of our parade. And you can get a hold of us through the Good Old Days line. I'm not even sure what it is. I don't ever use it, so I always look at it. But 727-1320, I'll use my time here, is the number. Somebody will get back to you. You'll record your message. We really want to work with local businesses, especially those that can have something creative and unusual, because it's an invitation-only parade. Based on what it is that you would submit to us or talk to us about is whether you receive an invitation to our parade. So we have a very high standard for our parade, unlike any other parades in the area. And we have a lot of bands, so we need a lot of things in between those bands to produce a really great parade. So we're hoping the community can come out, and the communities around us If you have something unusual, we invite you all, especially the townships around us. I'd like to see them involved in the parade and, you know, show your stuff. We have great communities around us. So I'll get off my soapbox. Is there any other discussion?
Just to mention that if you're looking for the Good Old Days website, I know you have it, but also under helpful links on the city website is, like, the first one is the festival. Or
Okay,
first or
great.
second, I think is the festival, so you can get to it from there, and I know all the contact information is on your website as well.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay. Do I go to the public yet on this one? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Okay, item 4 is Little League food vendor. Mr. City Manager?
We received a request today from Kona Ice through the Richmond Little League. They had reached out to a couple of food vendors, one of them being Kona Ice, to help them with the state tournament that starts, I believe, Thursday. And so the representative from Kona Ice did come in today, met with the city clerk, gave all the information, filled out the proper paperwork, and that's what's before you tonight. And her schedule is shown up in the background brief. I will say that there was one other that Little League had reached out to, Heather, with a,
Yeah, it was a burger place. She had notified them well over a month ago, and unfortunately, she did not hear back, nor has the city received any application, so.
so there might be one kind of lingering out there, but as far as we know tonight here at the meeting, this is all we've received.
And this starts in 3 days.
Correct.
Thursday. So,
Yes.
okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the special event request for the mobile food vendors from Richmond Little League to have 1 food truck, possibly 2, for the Blue Devil State Tournament from Thursday, July 20th through Thursday, July 27th, 2023.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this? Wasn't very timely. I would hope that people realize that we like to look at these things before we sit down at the table and make decisions.
In most organizations, I will say, usually take it upon themselves to make sure that all the paperwork gets to us. Sometimes there are a couple that seem to kind of farm that out to the mobile food vendor, but really the intent was, if you're holding an event, you should be coordinating that and making
Yes.
sure it all gets to the city.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we'll kind of let them know that that's really how it was intended to work.
Right, exactly.
You know, the application itself, yeah, it could be filled out by the mobile food vendor,
Yeah.
but really, you know, because they didn't know their vehicle number and all that. But
Yeah.
in general, the organizing entity should
Right.
be coordinating that with us.
Okay. Anything else? Is that what that is? You're the, yeah.
Donut price, yeah.
Jennifer, can you come up and use the microphone so the people at home can hear you? You bring any samples, by the way?
We're actually at Pollard Park down the street right now. So my name's Jennifer Tuttle. I'm a resident. I've been a lifetime resident in Macomb County, but I am a resident in Chesterfield, Michigan. And I'm also a teacher for L'Anse Creuse Public Schools, and my husband is a building official for the city of Troy. So it is kind of interesting to see our local government at work here. So thank you all for everything that you do for our community. I appreciate that. My husband and I recently became affiliated with Kona Ice. Our franchise is literally 4 weeks old now, so we are brand new to the community in this business. And I just heard about the Little League tournament on Friday, so I apologize for the late notice with everything, but I just caught wind of it this past week. So, Kelly is I believe the concessions coordinator with the organization. I reached out to her and I asked her if she wanted to partner with me because Kona does lots of fundraising, and we've raised over $135 million nationwide. And what we do is we partner with local communities. I'm partnering with Chesterfield right now. I'd be happy to partner with Richmond in the future to come to your events. And what we do is we give 25% back to the community with every event we do. So that's part of the reason I fell in love with this company, company because we do so much. We partner with all the schools and everything, and it's just a really great franchise to be a part of. So, so I would appreciate your approval so we can raise some funds for the kids next week, and we're really excited to hopefully watch Richmond win the state. So that would be great, right?
You would.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? So the way the motion reads, possibly two, so is that going to be handled administratively? Is that
I
why
mean, I
it's
guess that's what
open-ended?
we're asking council, if you're comfortable with that motion, that should the person come in tomorrow with that last one that they reached out to for the hamburger, that we would handle that administratively. Again, that's, if you're comfortable with that motion.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Miscellaneous matters from the city manager, sir.
I think I'd emailed council on a letter that I had sent to Todd Wenzel for the Squad 2 for the fire department. They're coordinating delivery of that. I believe they're trying to schedule that for this Thursday or Friday. So on your schedules tonight was the check, so that we can hand that to them when they drop off the vehicle. Also, in the schedules tonight, many of you were at the meeting we had with the Romeo Chamber of Commerce, that we, some council members and some EDC members had interviewed a couple different chambers, and felt that the Romeo Chamber was kind of the best fit for us. So our membership was on tonight. They're holding a board meeting here later this week where they're giving out a scholarship to an EMS candidate, as well as they're setting up for later in August, I believe, a social media seminar for businesses. And then I did get word that they're moving forward with the rebranding from the Greater Romeo Washington Chamber of Commerce to the Northern Macomb Regional Chamber of Commerce to kind of encompass everyone from Romeo to Richmond, kind of that north tier of communities would fall under the umbrella of this newly branded Chamber of Commerce.
Good, very good. Okay, council comments? Jim?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Emily?
Nothing, thank you.
Don?
Nothing.
Bob?
All set.
I was just gonna to pass along the comments on the DPW cleaning up the city from the last storm. Again, the people that seen it that night, the next morning, it looked great.
It
So,
was gone.
yeah, other than leaves, a lot of leaves and
Yeah.
little things blowing around, but
Yeah.
the trees that, if anybody's seen it going through right after the storm,
Yeah,
was definitely quite a few trees
yeah,
down,
there was.
branches.
Some big ones. Real big ones, you know. Did we handle the big ones also? Like that one that was down on Main Street?
I think there was possibly one that we reached out to Active Tree. I think everything else, we tried to handle most of it ourselves. But again, there was so much going on that night. I know I was in contact with the crew leader going, you know, hey, I know you're doing wells and lift stations, as Dennis said, they really had to step up, and there was a lot going on in a short period of time for anyone that saw that rain come down or the hail and the pictures of the hail afterwards. They were doing a lot, you know, and then to transition from making sure that our water and sewer systems are operating effectively to then transition to debris removal and everything. So I know they did a lot of it themselves. I think there may have been a couple that they brought others.
Yeah, that one tree on Main Street,
Yeah.
center of town was huge.
At least,
A little bigger than our chipper.
to my knowledge, they were farming that one out.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
most of the rest they got.
Yeah, it was good. Edison got power going again. I watched you two guys were going back and forth on when your area was going to get. You were one of the last ones to get power. I think.
So, and when I
Still, it
looked,
was what, by 9 o'clock?
yeah.
Yeah. So it was in those trucks. I saw those trucks when I came back into town. Those trucks were right.
They were here.
They were ready to go.
No,
So that was
you
really
know,
nice.
and when I first saw the outage map start to populate itself, I was a little nervous about that, but really, Edison was right here in town going around, and yeah, some of us took, you know, a couple hours, but
Yep.
it was still that night, and, you
Yeah.
know.
No, excellent. Good job by the DPW. Anything else, Dennis?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, Michael?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, we've got some announcements. Garage sale is this Saturday, from 8:30 to 1 p.m. The Recreation Department will be holding that annual garage sale, and that will be over at BB Street Park. Any questions on that? 727-3064. Children's Entertainment Series. Our next one is July 27th. It's on a Thursday. It's called The Bubble Show. Summer Youth Volleyball Camp. That's going to start again. That started today, right? No, she got the wrong dates. No, that's June. July 31st. So July 31st, we'll start the next section of the Summer Youth Volleyball Camp. Again, that's at BB Street Park. Call 727-3064 for more information. And then the annual Kids, Trucks, and Tractors will be held Wednesday, August 16th at 11 a.m. And that is also put on by Parks and Rec. That will also be held in the BB Street Park. Again, questions on that, 727-3064. Today being the 17th of July, we have an EDC meeting on the 20th?
Yes.
Okay. As mentioned, Richmond Little League 11U State Tournament starts this Thursday and runs through till the following Thursday. There's approximately 12 teams, about 25 games that will be held over the week-long time, and this is 11 and under state tournament. The next regular meeting of the City Council will be 2 weeks from tonight. It will be on August 7th. Summer's flying by, eh? I have nothing else. There is no closed session. Any other business of the City Council this evening? If not,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
motion made and support. There's no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Thanks for being with us.